What's up guys, welcome back for another YgoPro duel video. New Rokket support, and I think most cards from the structure deck are revealed. Not really sure about this, but this new wave of support is fantastic. Fantastic support for Rockets. The first one, you know, you have your Router, I believe the name is, or how it's pronounced. It's like a superb card, one of the cards that definitely solves the core problems of this deck. It's a searcher, makes your Dragon's Shrine an instant searcher, I guess, because your level 7 Router triggers when it's sent to the graveyard, so Awful Foolish Burial or whatever, right? Or Link Summon, since you can special summon it from your hand to the field if you control a Rocket monster. So fantastic support. A very well deserved extender here for the deck. The other support, as you know, Rokket Tracer. I think one of the best here, Rocket monster. One of the new links here being Striker Dragon. It's basically this deck's failings. Upon summon you can search a field spell, and it's also a link one. I mean, what do you need more as a Rocket player? It just needs, I think, a level 4 or lower Dragon type. And I'm looking at, well, basically this entire deck. And of course the Y Burstar and Collapse Serpent. Fantastic support engine, you know, the card dragons, etc. Anyway, so as you know, of course, you have now, or at least you know, this particular deck has a field spell searcher, and your field spell is a lovely extender. Extends your combos, it gives you the extra dragons, potential dragons on the field for, you know, maybe a guard dragon play. But as you know, the guard dragons might be dangerous since they're very weak to hand traps. This is like I think a standard first turn combo, but I'm still getting to he's trying to learn the deck right, but thanks to, I believe the name is the Dragon, it's quite easy to get the first turn Link 4 and of course a follow-up play here with, and that's, you know, well, Silver. Silver is also one of those new level 4 Rocket monster that hits your opponent's extra deck. It's a card I personally underestimated. Was running at 1 in my first builds, but it's one of those cards that you definitely want to have at least 2 or 3 maybe in your deck, since, as you know, against Orcust or against Salamangreat, for example, you can instantly hit their extra deck, you know, during your own turn if you go first, and especially the second turn during their first turn, getting rid of, let's say, Sunlight Wolf. Well, 2 copies that is, so them only leaving them with only 1 copy of Sunlight Wolf, or you could potentially hit, what is it called, Mirage Stelio, yeah, the Salamangreat Exceed. All options that Silver can hit right. And with this new support, it's quite flexible to get that first turn Link Summon, Link 4 Summon, Boreload or Boral Sword to trigger your monster effects, right? Since, you know, your smaller Rocket monsters only get that extra beneficial effect if they are targeted by a Link monster, and let's say, you know, Boral Sword or Boreload. Anyway, so I think my personal strategy here with the deck is, of course, I mean, get your Tracer on your field. You know, Tracer, one of the new level 4 Rocket monsters that is a quick effect, and during both players' turns, once per turn, you can destroy any of your face-up cards. Again, it can be an activated Allure of Darkness, a Dragon's Shrine, a Raigeki or whatever, to special summon something from the deck. So basically, a hero lives, if that makes sense. Fantastic support, definitely solves some consistency problems of this particular deck, but again, yeah, a very solid extender, and it lets you play during your opponent's turn. And you know how it goes with decks that are allowed or are able to play during your opponent's turn. Yeah, we know how this goes, right? Anyway, Upstart Gobbling in like a well over 40 card deck. We know why, because of, you know, your Tracer. I again opt to go for the card dragon routes. I think so, you know, because we know the last card in the hand, so why not, right? There are no hand traps to be feared of. And yeah, you can just go for your standard shenanigans, Rocket shenanigans. Yeah, one of the new Link 2s for Rockets. Not really sure if it's new, but you can just pop your opponent's Link 2 and then special summon 2 Rockets on your own, extending your plays. Fantastic support, but it still feels that even though this deck got a couple of new extenders, new support, it still feels that it's quite lacking some cards maybe? Anyway, so getting Tracer on the field, and you know, that lovely combination with that, what is it called, that quote-unquote hero lives for Rockets, right? And that's what I like here, this new what is it called? The new Link 1. It's Striker. You know, you can search upon Link Summon your field spell, and that can potentially lead into extending your plays. As you know, that Link 1 also has an extra effect that during your... well, it doesn't really matter, right? Once per turn, you can target any of your monsters, and then, you know, you can gain those extra beneficial effects of your rockets since they are being targeted by a Link monster effect. And then you can target also a dragon in your graveyard to get it back to your hand. But small note here is that if you use your Striker, your Link 1, targeting a rocket on your side of the field, if you happen to use the face-up rockets effect, you know, when it's targeted by a Link monster to destroy itself, you can't get the monster targeted by the Link 1 from your graveyard back to the hand, since the monster on the field is not destroyed by the Link. Hope you can still follow, right? But it makes sense, I think. Anyway, so getting the Lingerers back on the field. The Lingerers is also one of those cards that I might want to put at 2 actually in the extra deck, but one of the biggest weaknesses of this deck is the 15 card limit of the extra deck. It's so tight, and that's one of the first victims, I guess. Because of this, I felt that I wasn't, or that I shouldn't be making more than 1 copy of the Fusion. The Fusion is a very solid card, basically a scrap dragon for this particular archetype, but that, what is it called? Rapid Trigger, I believe the name is, the Fusion Polymerization for this particular archetype. Not really sure about it. It's definitely a good card, but I mean, there are just better options, more flexible options, but still 1 Fusion copy might be okay. But again, as you saw, my deck is well over 40 cards, so that definitely still needs work. Again, as he has some standard guard dragon plays, I guess the deck still... I think you still need to main deck the guard dragons. There is really hardly any downside to go for the guard dragon plays. If your opponent has the hand trap, that's fine. Just make sure you can keep Tracer on the field, and then it's just fine. You can just play during your opponent's turn and then search the appropriate rocket monsters you need, right? This was a mistake on my part. Definitely should not have used Savage Dragon here on the Puddingcessor. Yeah, just should have used the Ash Blossom on Puddingcessor, but it's not going to matter, right? Just make sure you have your Borealoid or Boreal Dragon or Borealoid or Boreal Sword, right? Just triggering your monsters during the... yeah, during your opponent's turn as well. Special summon the Lingerers again, and then the Lingerers can pop during your opponent's turn also. But yeah, again, it's not going to matter too much. I eventually dropped, I forgot the name, the level 4 dragon here in your hand. It's just basically an extra extender, but I don't think it's needed since, again, I'm running well over 40 cards. Anyway, drop the Link 1. The Link 1 is basically a plus. It gives you the extra field spell search and can destroy itself to get, let's say, a Tracer from your graveyard back to the hand. And then, you know, you can still have your normal summon. But still, the deck is quite weak to hand traps. Anyway, so Shrine dumps the level 7, and level 7 will search something from the deck. Most of the time, if you don't open Tracer, that search will be Tracer, right? This again might be dangerous going for your guard dragon setup. It's basically high risk, high reward, I guess. Other options is that just use your silver, I guess. Your silver rockets, you know, your Link 1 targeting your silver. Use silver to look at your opponent's extra deck. And then 2 options, I guess, is either hit Mirage Stelio or Sunlight Wolf. Again, feel free to leave suggestions or tips, right? So anyway, this is a good field. It gives your... yeah, gives me the opportunity to play during my opponent's turn with Tracer on my side of the field, potentially pop a monster on my opponent's side of the field with Magna Rocket, of course using Borealoid's effect, and something to negate with that Synchro monster, but okay, the opponent did have some extra options, right? I was forced to pop my own field spell. Was I forced? I'm not really sure about this, but I think one of my only plays, I guess. Magna Rocket, making sure that I can get another Tracer on the field. I mean, this deck is so fun, so good. Again, making sure that I have more than enough follow-up plays ready. The Lingerers on my side of the field. And yeah, Monster Reborn came in kind of clutch. And here, having the extra plus, going for the Link 1. Yeah, search, I guess, the field spell, pop itself, get back Rokket Tracer, and again making sure that you can have that Tracer on your side of the field. And yeah, now I think I should be able to attack for a game. Yeah, this indeed should be the duel. So this new support is fantastic. Fantastic support Tracer was already revealed a couple of weeks ago, but the fantastic card is Absolrouter. Hope I pronounce it right. Again, that level 7 is a fantastic support. The main deck definitely needs work, so again, like always, feel free to leave suggestions. Other cards like the Trap card card, I forgot the name, the Zero, you know which one I mean, like the Icarus attack-alike card, but that can potentially destroy more cards, like 3 or 4 depending on which Dark Link you tribute for it. It's fine, but I'm not really sure if I want to main that. I think Impermanence might be a little bit more flexible. A new continuous spell for Rockets, it feels a bit iffy. It's like supply squad or supply unit. It's getting better. You know, the time you prolong the duel or later in the duel, but you know, in today's format, the duels don't really last too long. Other options are the Guard Dragon Reborn cards, the Foolish Burial. You know, the guy that sends extra deck monsters to the graveyard are definitely all options. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or a like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.